Good evening. The meeting will now come to order. Welcome to the February 24th, 2026 meeting of the City of Greenville Historic Preservation Commission. My name is Susan Daughtry, and I am the chair of this commission. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrew Moorhead,
Present.
David Denard,
Present.
Matthew Fox,
Here.
Lakeith Sachadani, Stephen McLeod,
Here.
Rebecca Smith,
Here.
Susan Daughtry,
Here.
Kamari Carter-Britton.
Here.
We have one.
Well, we do have a quorum. So, has everybody looked at the agenda? Any issues or questions? Do I have a motion to approve?
A motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay. Do any of the commissions have additional matters that need to be placed, or, well, I guess I've already asked that. Okay.
Call the vote. We
Excuse
should
me.
vote. They moved, seconded, we should vote.
Oh, I thought I had a second.
We
Yeah,
did.
you had a second, but you didn't call.
Yeah, call the vote.
Oh, call the vote.
All in favor?
Second, okay,
I'll
sorry.
say all in favor.
This is my first time for those of you who weren't. Okay, so hearing none, we're now moved to new business.
There still has to be a vote.
Yeah, just say all in favor, signify.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Sorry.
Aye.
All right.
And before you move to new business, we got to do the ex parte conflict. Madam Chair, you're doing a great job. I know it's the first meeting. All of you guys should have in your packet the reminder about conflicts and ex parte communication. If you haven't reviewed it, take a minute to do that now and disclose any, if you have any, to announce tonight. There's only really one item, which will be the demolition. Hearing none, I will sit back down.
Okay, so there's no old business on the agenda for the month. And the next item on the agenda under new business is in major work
We have to approve.
COA.
We have to prove the minutes from last.
Okay. we need- I'm good.
Already, if you guys did a motion in a second and voted to approve the agenda. Now you got to
Yes.
do that for the minutes.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I move approval.
Second.
Now, all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go.
Good job. Okay, new business. The next item on the agenda under new business is a major work COA number 202601, 706 West 4th Street. Staff will make a presentation.
I think we have to swear everybody in before we
All
start.
written. Right here, it's all written out. I didn't see this.
Do we have to swear everyone in?
Mr. Hackett, do you want to speak or maybe? I got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll get this.
It's easier.
Just having you there for backup.
If you want to, you can have a seat for a second, and we'll call you up. I'm gonna go through the presentation for you. Hold on one second, please. So this is a request, is for 706 West 4th Street. The applicant is requesting demolition of an accessory unit or garage that's located at the rear of the property. Notices were mailed on February 10th, and a sign was posted February 10th, and then the DRC met February 13th, 2026, and recommended approval of the COA. The Charles O'Hagan Horn Senior House, it's a local landmark. This home is of colonial revival and craftsman style. While the house was built circa 1916, the accessory unit was built circa 1925. The property owner is requesting a major COA for the demolition of the garage that's located at the back of the property. This is a location map, so I've put a yellow star on the property. So at the top, this would be 3rd Street Academy, and then it's located at the corner of West 4th and Contentia Street. So this is a photograph of the property taken from Contentia. So this is the house, and then this is the garage we're talking about. This is an up-close version of it. Again, this is what you would see from Contentia Street. And then this is a side of the, where, if you were looking from the rear of the house, I went ahead and just put, because they're going to discuss about damage from a tree limb falling on the roof, so I've kind of just sort of tried to show you where that is. It's sort of hard to see with the shadow above it. So the design guideline specifically talks about demolition. And it gives us some specific things to consider and to think about when you're looking at demolition. One of the first things that someone should consider would be alternatives such as restoration of the property, potentially selling it to another person that's willing to restore it. Now, this is with the caveat, this is not the whole property, this is just the garage itself. And then also potential relocation. If those alternatives have been exhausted, then these are the guidelines for demolition, which is you want to make a permanent record of it, meaning taking photographs, showing where it was located, highlighting any kind of special features or characters of it. Again, this demolition comes on a case-by-case basis. Work with the commission to identify any kind of salvageable materials or for other people who could take the materials. Also, you want to, and this is something that staff would do, which would be have a site plan, or I'm sorry, I misunderstand. If you're clearing the structure, then having a site plan of any kind of proposed landscaping or any other kind of development after demolition. So this is, again, straight out of your design guidelines. Demolition of a structure is an irreversible step, should only be pursued if there's no viable alternative. You know this, once a historic resource is destroyed, then the connections to the past, other benefits are lost. So when you, the commission, are considering demolition of a property, you should give thought to, might another site serve the purpose equally well? Might the existing building be adapted to meet the owner's needs? Might the property be sold to someone else who could use it? And then might the existing building be moved to another site? So another thing that comes, and this is from North Carolina state law, so this is out of General Statutes 160D, and this says that an application for a COA for demolition, relocation, or some kind of destruction may not be denied. Okay. However, the commission does have the ability to delay up to 365 days from the date of approval, tonight's meeting. The maximum period of delay should be reduced by the commission where it finds that the owner would suffer extreme hardship or be permanently deprived of all the beneficial use or return of the property by virtue of that delay. So next, you're going to have a presentation from the applicant. There is an engineering report in your packet. You should have seen that. The engineer is not here tonight, so he will not be able to answer any questions related to the report. So you'll be able to read the report and take from it what you read out of it. There was some photographs in that, and then at the end you will have Mr. Haddock's going to speak. You have the opportunity to ask him questions, and then we'll come to the next step, which is adopting the findings of facts and then determining if the request is congruent. So I just kind of wanted to give you some little prompts as we go through that. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, very good.
So now we're going to hear from
The applicant.
our
Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. Appreciate all of your time and effort towards this issue. Just to kind of clarify, why we're requesting this, it is not, really something that we wanted to do. I bought this property, my wife and I, with the intention of restoring it to basically, the way it was built. And we've done so with the primary residence. The house is, beautiful on the inside and out pretty much at this point. The intention of this property is a rental property, and unfortunately, the garage, after talking to multiple builders, engineers, et cetera, has presented not only a just kind of a unsightly, piece to the property, but is also kind of a safety hazard, right? So we're ultimately concerned about the issue of, as she said, the tree, a branch, an untold amount of time ago fell on it before we ever owned it, and the previous owners did not patch the roof in a way that would prevent water from seeping into the building. And so unfortunately, where the main garage structure meets the side storage structure, that entire wall has been compromised with, water damage, termite damage for who knows how many years, not really sure. So the main concern for my contractors is that they send guys over there to start trying to reinforce this building, which they can't guarantee will continue to stand even if they do reinforce it. But even in the process of trying to repair it, the building could fall on their, their workers. And I've had 3 separate contractors tell me they don't comfortably, feel safe putting their workers in that position. The engineering report, which I can't really, make, a lot of comments on, kind of corroborates that. The idea is to keep this property as original as possible. We've trimmed the trees the right way. Every time we've been asked, we've, every single exterior change we've made, we've run by this commission. They were minor changes for the most part. This is the one that unfortunately we just have not really found a way around. And it's kind of to the point where we either have the ability to tear it down and try to make the best use of that area of the property moving forward, or we just wait until it falls down. That's kind of the position we're in. So again, I appreciate your time. I'm open to any questions you may have, but that's what we're requesting.
Does anybody have any questions?
So your current plan after demolition is just to retain the current concrete pad and use that for parking, or do you have longer term plans?
Yep, so the plan as of right now is so that building unfortunately serves as the fence for my, behind neighbor, right? So that fence is going to have to be patched. I'm still working with him on whether he wants to do it or whether I want to go ahead and kind of put in some sort of fence. You and I talked about that the last time we were there, about the types of fences we could build. So that piece is still in the air, and I would kind of want to work with Shantae on what is possible with fencing on that piece. But so far as what would go there, you're exactly right. We would most likely just leave the existing concrete pad, landscape around that pad, as well as the rest of the parking area. The idea is to use this property for travel nurses on midterm rentals. So it's close proximity to downtown, close proximity to the hospital. There's a shortage of that type of housing. And so, that would create enough parking where we could fit the people that we need to in the property.
I also wanted to just follow up briefly on something Shantae said, that we didn't know when the secondary structure was built, and then the other part said 1925. Do you have some knowledge of kind of when this occurred? Was the concrete pad after the fact?
So the concrete pad, I'm not exactly sure. The 1925 number is correct. So if you go back and look at I believe this property it was late 90s when this property was designated a historic residence. And in that decree, or whatever the document you want to call it, it shows the breakdown of the age of the structure of the primary residence and then the garage. So the 1925 number is correct. I don't know if the concrete was poured at the same time or not. I have to imagine it probably was not. It was most likely poured later on. I imagine that was more of an implement shed when it was first built.
Anybody else? Are there any people in the audience that want to speak? No?
I would just like to say that
Oh, we'd have to swear her in.
oh, you get sworn in.
Yeah, absolutely. Come up. You have to be
Come
sworn
on.
in.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself. just like to say, Alex is from Greenville, and I'm from Charlotte. We got married a few years ago and bought this property really, because we're really passionate about preserving the historical state of the property. And so we've done the best, up to the best of our ability, improve the interior up to its former glory, and we've just really, really enjoyed the process. And so we've kept the integrity of it the entire way through. Just this garage is something that has become a problem, and it's just a safety concern. So that's really where it all stands, and so we just wanted to hopefully get approval so that we can tear it down and move on and get everything, beautiful in the backyard, and so that's really what we were hoping to get tonight, so thank you guys.
Anybody? Okay,
Thank you.
so now we will hear the city staff's recommendations? No?
And people speaking in opposition.
All right, so first you would normally say, is there anybody else that wants to speak in favor of
Okay.
this? It doesn't look like that's the case.
Okay.
And then following, you would say, now is there anybody in opposition? That's kind of the standard procedure. At that point, you will close the public hearing and then.
Okay. So is anybody in opposition? Okay, so the public hearing is now closed. Is the motion to adopt the finding of facts as presented by city staff? Do I hear a motion?
My motion.
I'll second.
Okay, everyone else in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved.
Okay. So,
Okay. So,
now we have to move to adopt, now we move to actually
Okay.
make a motion on the
Okay.
certificate of appropriateness.
all right. So, I'm sorry.
We haven't moved yet, so we've
Okay.
done this, now we're here.
Oh, we're
and then
skipping
down,
around,
down
okay.
here.
Okay.
Just make sure. if
We're
there's
getting
questions. Okay,
Yeah.
just let me know. I'll be here.
He's
if you guys
helping.
need it.
He's moving
And
me
so-
through
and So
it.
here's the next part.
Okay.
When we actually.
All right.
that's-
Is there a motion that the requested application and proposed is congruous with the design guidelines and the applicant's application for the insurance of a certificate of appropriateness should be approved?
So I'll make a motion to find that this request is congruous with the design guidelines and that we approve the request for the certificate of appropriateness to at least kick off the conversation.
I'll second that.
All in favor? No?
Now we move to discussion.
Okay. Discussion. Anyone?
So I'm just going to say,
Okay.
I did visit earlier when we had sort of an abortive attempt to have a DRC. And so I looked over the property in question. And I just want to say that, to speak in support of this request, that I don't see a viable reason, based on the criteria that Shantae mentioned earlier, to delay this request for a year. It's part of a property, not a complete property. We're not going to find someone to relocate nor to buy this property, right? So in that context, I think that an expeditious move here is the appropriate one. I also would mention, the reason I asked about the concrete is that the building is not sitting on concrete footers, which means that there's a lot of rot all the way around where the footers are sitting on the ground rather than on concrete footings. So I also have a difficult time envisioning how you might preserve this building. I do hope, asking the question about the plans, that we have the record that if anything is built back there, that it be congruent with what was there in the first place. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
And I'll add two kind of brief caveats. One, as you kind of saw as part of the design guidelines, if you guys wish for any particular way of like documenting this or pictures or anything that's kind of within your purview, looks like there was some by staff that were already in your packet. That might be sufficient. It's kind of up to y'all's discretion. The other caveat was I agree with Mr. Moria, former chair, kind of serving in that capacity in some way. I appreciate the help I think everybody's getting tonight. You know, we say, we kind of delayed it when it came to the Higgs house, if you guys recall. So if there's any concerns about precedential value or anything like that, very different scenario. I think we had people that were interested in buying it. It was the entire property. This is kind of an accessory thing. As they stated, the documentation seems to indicate there's not really a path forward in regards to what you guys would contemplate. So that's all there in the ether, but I'll be here if you guys have any additional questions. Otherwise, we have a motion. I didn't hear a second. Oh, no, I did hear a second. Motion and a second.
We had a motion and a second.
Do we have
Further discussion?
any further discussion? for anybody? Okay,
Now we can
Andrew.
vote.
Now what do we do?
Now we vote.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay,
The ayes have it unanimously.
motion carries. All right. I'm gonna write this for myself. Okay, so what do I do?
So now we go to the public comment period.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to
so
read all that unless there's someone who might want to speak.
Is
in
there
the public
any
comment period.
other comment about this?
No, it's about, this is the public comment period for any
public.
other
Okay.
non-item.
Does anybody in the audience want to have a comment? Okay.
Let's move on.
So now we're going to committee reports.
Shante, do we have any committee reports other than the DRC one that was part of this?
That's, I got a slide for it, but yes, you have said it. So DRC met, again, for the COA, publicity did not meet, selection did not meet, and we're still working on refining those committees for you.
Any other announcements?
No, we have no announcements. I wasn't sure if we were moving there yet. No announcements.
So-
One brief thing, though, you guys will see the public comment period on your agenda. Just for the boards, are you guys okay with that spot? Because a lot of our boards usually do that at the front end of the meeting, just because if anybody's coming here not necessarily associated with a specific item, they can kind of be heard and then be on their way. It's kind of within y'all's purview or discretion. You want to keep it where it is? You want us to kind of move that up a little? I think city council does it kind of in the very beginning before they're considering other items. So, and again, you guys could, each meeting kind of switch it up to a degree. I know the city had wanted to do some uniformity in regards to how we do these things, but just kind of wanted to bring that to attention. Because I noticed that on the agenda being kind of towards the end,
Right,
it kind of didn't make
right.
a ton of sense, but
Hey.
any thoughts?
I don't mind it being early because I understand a lot of people don't want to stay here the whole time.
Can I get a consensus, y'all?
Does
Thumbs
anyone
up?
have a-
Early
an
is-
opinion?
I'll move
Early.
the staff to get that kind of moved up. For the
Okay,
next
all right, thank you.
If we're in the announcement period, but before we quit, Shante, did you want to give the committee a quick update on the process we have on updating the design guidelines, just so they know that we've at least had the public meetings and acknowledge you and everyone else's hard work?
So what we had, I think you guys had received an email earlier last week. We had our first two community meetings that were with the consultants, and then again, it was public meetings. It was a chance for folks who wanted to come in. We wanted to obviously bring them into the circle about the project, letting them know we've got the website that's sitting out there. And then also, a lot of the conversation was over when you're making changes to your property, what heartburn do you have? Are there what you believe are maybe obstacles to being able to do work to your house? What are some things that maybe we can move over and let staff approve and not bring it to the commission? Another big component of it was we have some guidelines about trees, but they're a little, unrefined as far as what trees that we actually have purview over. So one of the thoughts that we had in coming to this and doing the update was to talk about trees and talk about, if you know what a caliper is, that is a way to measure trees. It measures, the diameter, if you will, and also the height. And to be able to put in basically a hard line that says if a tree is X caliper, X tall, then they have to come to the commission if they want to remove it. But if you have these little spindly volunteers that are maybe 5 years old and you want to clean out your backyard and take out the vines and stuff, you can do that. You don't have to come and see us. Our guidelines are just kind of silent on that, so it kind of leaves it open. What are you regulating, what you aren't? So I will say those two meetings we had, we did have some property owners that showed up that represent a lot of the properties themselves. These are people who own multiple properties. We got a lot of good advice. We got a lot of well, here's something that I think would be better. So the very next thing is we have the task force, and you have Andrew, who's serving as a representative for the commission. Part of the task force was to have some property owners, not that they necessarily live in the district, but they own properties in the district. We'll have an ECU rep. We have Councilmember Hardy, who is your new liaison, so he came in tonight. I'm glad he was able to get here. He'll be part of the task force. We have also asked for a contractor who you may, some of you may know, that comes and asks for COAs from time to time. And it's just a way to get more of a global view, and it's not just set from one perspective. And so the schedule now is the task force. The first meeting will be in March. We canceled the February meeting for a multitude of reasons, so we're going to start in March. The task force will meet once a month, March, April, May, June, and then they'll pick up in August, so everybody gets a vacation month in July. We can add an additional month, add an additional meeting if we find that we just haven't quite finished going through the whole project. This will come back to the commission for the commission's blessing. It will also have to be approved by city council as well, but you will have time to look at the document, make your changes. We're not going to bring it to you and just ask for your blessing. And ideally, we will have this wrapped up and adopted by the end of this year, which seems far, but it really isn't that far. And we'll continue to bring you periodic updates, but I will say for the first couple of months, it's really going to be the task force doing the heavy lifting, so you may not necessarily get updates from us, but just know we will bring you into the circle, and again, we'll bring this back for the whole commission as well. I'll be helping, Bella will be helping. I hope to turn the reins over to her by the next meeting. My understanding is we did not get any business, correct? Or do we, today was the deadline. So I'm gonna let y'all have next month off. Have fun on the fourth Tuesday. And I'll go ahead and tell you today was the deadline for facade improvement grant applications. We didn't receive any. We did do workshops, but we had regrets. Either they weren't queued up and ready for it, or they just needed more time to think about it. Maybe we'll pick them up on the next budget cycle, but we don't have that looming over our heads. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
Not a question, but thank you very much.
You're
And
welcome.
I also want to get on the record so that anyone who's watching this on TV9 or reads the minutes is aware that this effort's ongoing, in case they also want to, just to get the word out. So thank you.
So is that it? Okay.
Move to adjourn?
So is there a move?
A motion. Second.
Anybody?
Second.
The second?
Yeah, she seconded it.
She's second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're now adjourned. Thank you.